Is the hair looking getting there, isn't it? You know, we bit of a Paul Thorpe hairstyle going on here. Um, Typical over 50 guy losing the old hairline here. I'm noticing. Not good, not good, guys. Yeah, starting to lose my youth. So, welcome in. If you're just joining and you haven't got it live, you've missed a really good show. But welcome in. Thanks for catching up with the live. I do appreciate it. It's nice that you're interested, you know. And we're just going to be talking about LePen and what's going on, the connections with LePen, Tommy Robinson. I don't have anything wrote down or notes or nothing. A wee bit out of my depth, a wee bit, but we'll see how we go. With a wee bit of help from you guys as the live goes forward. I'll get a wee bit of information coming in and learn a wee bit more, because that's what it's about. It's about learning, you know, each other, like throwing stuff out about thinking outside the box, etc., etc. Yeah, so welcome in. Give us a wee comment. I'm just going to grab the kettle. Got coffee ready to go. Drop me a wee comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're okay. Everything's good, lucky. We have found out what the problem is. She's got her first tooth. She's got her first tooth, you know. It's just came through, so I think it's came through in the last day, you know. Yeah, should have really noticed it, like, you know what I mean. But you know, Katie's noticed it, so yeah, that's been the problem. Yeah, so I imagine that's going to happen every tooth, doesn't it? I don't know. You're gonna let me know. You're more experienced at this carry on than I am. Right, we need to find someone. Okay, guys, just going to get myself comfortable, get the feet up. Get a wee bit closer so I can see your comments. Hello, Bandy, how you doing, mate? Welcome in, welcome in. 7 people in at the minute, Bandy, 7 people. Just got to set this down gently, because I know it's annoying you. I'm putting the cup down and the springs are, so hopefully that's a bit better. Bring that a bit closer. So I hope you can hear me okay. Hope that's all loud and clear. So we're just going to be talking about LePen, guys. So for those that don't know what's happened, LePen's been charged. Bit of a trumped up charge as far as I'm concerned, you know. I mean, I imagine mistakes have been made, you know. I'm not gonna say that hello, Bluebell. You's gonna let me know if you know more details, you know what I mean, and the ins and outs and that. Like, to be honest, we don't have the time to really look into it. I don't really need to look into it, just like you guys. We don't need to look into these things, you know. We know what's going on. You know what I mean? No problem, Bandy. Go and get yourself settled. We'll be here for a wee hour or so, you know what I mean? Maybe a bit longer. We'll see how it goes. Brilliant, beautiful day outside. Absolutely beautiful day. Lucky's in the pram. Katie's floating about. Tulip's in here with Dad. Boys out in the garden. Tulip's had a big walk, big massive walk this morning. Absolutely beautiful, so it was, guys. I heard Macron has done the same and just got a fine. Well, there you go. Doesn't surprise me. Exactly the same with Tommy Robinson. Anybody's been charged with anything that Tommy Robinson's been charged with have been let off really leniently, compared to Tommy being put into high security jail that he's in. You know, I know it's not top security, carry and all that, but it does hold some of the most dangerous men in England. And not only that, he's in solitary confinement. So, you know, along with all that, you know, the whole optics of that, this is what I want you to know, anything you take from this. So the optics of what's going on with Tommy is getting shown all around the world. Everybody's looking at Tommy, and then they're looking at their government, and you've got to understand. Hello, Chris. Hello, Danny. I'm sorry, I just read your comment, Danny. So, yeah, you got to understand the optics of that, guys. This is what the world are seeing, right? So, and now what they've done to LePen, you know, when I say the world, I'm talking about the Russians, the Chinese, the Americans, you know what I mean? This means a lot, guys. This means an awful lot. A lot of countries around the world Bluebell, I've just watched British stand and Trump campaign on free speech in the UK. We said no free speech means no trading. Yeah, I've told you this. We've all agreed. We've all said this. We've all like I keep on telling you that the Trump family are a supporter of Tommy Robinson, and please believe me, if you know how angry you feel. I know how angry I feel. How horrible it is to see a government treat a British citizen like that. Imagine what it's like for people that run countries, how they feel about it, because they're just like us. They're humans just like us. Just because they're famous and they're high up and they're like the richest men in the world, they still have those feelings that we have when somebody's being hard done by, when somebody's being persecuted. It's in our nature to care. It really is. I know there's a lot of people that don't care, but there's some. There is people out there that matter, guys, that really care about what's going on in this country, and they see what's going on with Tommy Robinson. And this is what I always keep saying: the optics is perfect. You can't ask for anything else right now. The Labour Party have highlighted everything that we've needed highlighted in the space of 9 months. It would have took us years and years and years to get the kind of coverage that we're getting right now from the rest of the world. And I can't get my head around it. This is why I keep saying, guys, I'm convinced fucking Starmer's right wing. I'm convinced that somewhere in there he knows exactly what he's doing, and they're doing this because it's out of their hands and they've got to keep accepting all these people and they don't know how to stop it, so they're going to just come hard on everybody, and so the rest of the world step up. You know what I mean? This is what it feels like. It feels like the Labour Party are out of their depth now, and they've agreed to something that they didn't realise. And the same as the Tories. This is what it looks like to me, guys, logically. Like, freedom in Europe is being hijacked, yeah, Danny, but that's what I'm saying. The rest of the world is watching very, very closely, and it's quite concerning for these governments. The French government, they will have lost complete faith. Like the French people will have lost complete faith now in the government, and it's going to send a warning out to every politician that, if this can happen to her, it can happen to any of you, and it's frightening. It's political, and they've tried to do it with Trump. They're doing it with Tommy, because I know Tommy's going to come out and be quite a substantial figure in British politics. I don't care what people say about Tommy saying he's not going to be in the politics. This is the reason why he's being attacked the way he's being attacked. Simple as that, And if Tommy was at no genuine risk to the government or to the politics of this country, they wouldn't be going hell bent and trying to break his mind and his soul. Believe me, Vanda just joined, sitting in the car waiting for my grandson. Dropped him off to do his theory test. Oh, wish him luck from Freedom Dad and Freedom Dad's community. Please let us know how you get on. We're going to be here for a while, so we'll be waiting patiently to find out. And just let us know when he's in the car so we can lower the tone a wee bit. We don't want to scare the boy, you know what I mean? But yeah, it is, like I keep on saying to you guys, I know it's really frustrating. It's really hard. You're seeing all these things happening to people. No problem, Vanda. We see all these things going on, and it's so frustrating, because who are we? What can we do? We've just got to observe and hold our children close to us. I'm not like dramatising things here. That's what people feel like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, You've seen the video. I don't know if you've got the video I put up this morning. You can see it's happened, and it's not too far away from me, and there's places getting closer and closer to me now, and there's other things that are happening that I haven't brought to you yet, because I've got to be careful. But once I've got the facts and the figures and the receipts, and I do a wee bit of my own work, just with Lucky and everything right now, everything's really non-stop, and there's loads of stuff I really want to do, and loads of places I want to go, and you know what I mean. And I've also got my own life as well, like my personal life with friends and people that are Belfast, Liverpool, my foster family. Loads of people are being neglected right now, and at the end of the day, it's not this. This is part of my sort of mental health recovery, help me get through life, along with you, and being able to help other people is giving me some sort of purpose, just being honest, and yeah, so I'm fitting this around, like a wee hour a day, sometimes, all right, it does take a few hours to do a video, but that's at the weekends and that, and I'm prepared for it. I'm up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm starting work straight away on the video, and so I'm prepared for that. I'm not. The only thing is, I'm getting a bit tired later on at night. You know what I mean? But that's okay, because baby's sleeping, Katie's settling down, everybody's chilling, and freedom dad can relax for a wee bit, and that's the way it works. I get up in the morning, I'm up at the crack of dawn, and haven't been doing that so much the last few days, but I'm normally on YouTube researching X, watching all your videos and all that, and that's how we roll, you know what I mean? But it is like, I can't fit it in, and there's nothing. Well, when I'm waiting in between Lucky and all that, I have got time to kill, and it's a perfect way to use it. You know what I mean? Interacting with folk, having a laugh, talking about stuff like this, how we feel, giving you an idea of how I'm looking at it logically, so you can understand that the spotlight is on us. It's very easy to believe that the way the government are, the way the newspapers are, the way the media are, the way you got your Mike Grahams and your I was going to say Jeremy Vance of Vine, Jeremy Vine, and who you're all them ones that work for the establishment. They're all just nipping away, and they're not saying anything that we want to hear. You know what I mean? And things are going to get a lot worse. This is what I'm trying to say as well. Things are going to get a lot worse, but I want you to understand that everybody's watching. A lot of intelligent people around the world are watching, and there is a lot of intelligent people in this country right now being very quiet, watching everybody and everything, because there's a lot of pieces at play here, guys. A lot of pieces, and like, I just know this because of Northern Ireland and how it works. I know how these guys work. I know how the establishment work. I know exactly how far they'll go, and how deep psychology and YouTubers and X, and how they will target social media, and a lot of wee tricks that's going to come up, and you're going to be quite blown away by some things, I imagine. Is this comments? Yep, you're still there. Yeah, so the optics is on us. The optics is on France, and that's what you got to remember. We even though we don't have a voice, and everything around us is working against us, everybody else around the world knows that. They know that British people are being silenced. They're being gaslit, by the media and by the politicians. They're having meetings about people smugglers. You know what I mean? And it's the most ridiculous thing you're going to hear this week. It really is, because there is no people smugglers. These people that are travelling about the world, going through different countries, don't need smuggled. They really don't. They might get somewhere where people will go, you aren't getting by unless you pay us money, you're not coming through our country. There'll be a lot of gangsters and criminals behaving like that. But as far as actually moving people, like, there's no smugglers in Cali. That's a myth. There was people at the start making a few quid. I know guys, what I mean? There was loads of guys making a few quid from it, what I mean? Filling buses and minibuses and all sorts of madness, what I mean? And false walls and floors, and what I mean, charging 5-10 grand a head, what I mean? But these were people that were like well off in some of these countries, and it did happen 110%. Everybody was trying to get a wee slice of that pie, but today it's too dangerous. Nobody's willing to go down that road. Nobody's prepared to take that risk. There's other crimes where you can make a lot more money than doing that, so that's from a criminal point of view, guys. There is no people smugglers. There's no smuggling gangs, and this is just all for them to say, look, we're doing something. Look what we're doing. We're having a big council meeting. We're having a big cabinet meeting about it. And it's just to baffle you and throw stuff at you to make you think that they're doing something, But they're not. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing. They're going to keep filling the place up. More and more people will be coming in. And like I keep saying to you, it's not just the boats. It's student visas, It's just coming here on holiday and not going back. Simple as that. Anybody coming here, any way they come here, whether it's through a sports company, through a drama school, through, because that's these places. Well, any way where the left are involved, right? anywhere where the far left are involved, they will make opportunities where they can bring people into the country, knowing fine rightly when they're here they will refuse to go home. So that's people that seek asylum. It's not just people coming in the boats. And like the number, like I keep telling you guys, that number is 100 times. I reckon it's 100 times more than the boats. I really do, and that's maybe a wee bit far out there. I don't know. Like I say, more intelligent people can do the sums. I mean, you'd really need to sit down and research it. And I don't have the time. You'd need to work out how many people are coming over on student visas. From different countries, and then you can work out most of them from certain countries won't be going back, and then you can try and work out the figures of how many people they bring, because they're allowed to bring a companion. So that'll be 2 people that won't be going back. And then you've got how many people are claiming asylum coming through the airports, and how many people are claiming asylum coming through the docks. If you get all them figures, I guarantee you there will be more people coming in that way than coming in on boats. And this is what the government are trying to hide. This is why they keep going on the emphasis, we're going to smash the gangs, because it keeps people happy. People are going, oh, right, they're doing something. But there is no gangs. These are just guys throwing a bit of money together, begging and stealing, and buying a dinghy and buying an outboard motor. Like I keep saying to you guys, you can swim that channel. Why would you need to pay somebody thousands to get yourself a dinghy and an outboard motor to cross it? It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And I know how many's in Cali. I've seen the industrial estates and the big abandoned factories full of asylum seekers all waiting to come here. And they won't address that. The French are letting them stay there. The British aren't caring. That's the problem there. But nobody wants to talk about it or go near it. You know what I mean? Because then it would really get sorted. Because if we started focusing on everybody that's sitting in France waiting to come here, then it's a different ball game, isn't it? What would the French and the British would have to do something? If you know they're there waiting to come, and you're wanting to smash the gangs, what if you can't stop them going from the industrial estate to the beach in a dinghy and getting across the water, then surely you must be able to stop them at the industrial estate. If you can't stop them at the water and you can't stop them at our border, then surely you got to go back a wee bit and stop them at the industrial estates. But they won't ever do that. So as far as the French are concerned, they don't care, or it wouldn't be happening. Please believe me. We can defend. France can defend their beaches. We can defend our beaches. Don't ever think that we can't stop people getting out into the water. You know what I mean? You could be sitting with non-lethal things that could be puncturing these boats as they're in the shallows. And there's loads of stuff you could do to stop these boats getting out the water. You know what I mean? You could stop them even getting onto the beach as they're carrying them. I've seen police officers go up and stick knives into the inflatables. It is possible. You know what I mean? It is possible. The technology that we have, and the infrared and sensors and all the satellites and the drones, they could protect their beaches no problem and stop people getting onto them beaches and crossing. But they're not going to, because they want rid of these guys. It's as simple as that. And they're working at cahoots. You know what I mean? Britain are going to keep taking these guys. There's no two ways about it. And this meeting in Downing Street today with all the it's just a smokescreen to keep all the Sky News and BBC news watchers happy. Vanda, that fella that stabbed our soldier in Gillingham, Kent, has had his court case adjourned again due to his mental health. Yeah, I'm not expecting anything to come from that. I expect that guy to go into a mental hospital. All plan to keep the wages at the bottom. Yeah, definitely, Danny. There's all sorts of things going on right now that's quite remarkable. And it is, like I say, when our kids look back, it's going to be one of the most remarkable times in Britain. And it's just the last 5 years it's been really bad, you know what I mean? But like I say, now time's staying still. In the past, people will look at it a bit more closely and deeper, and probably find a lot of stuff that we're missing because we're living it. You know what I mean? There's so much going on. You're like that. You're like, that's what it's like. You know what I mean? It's like a school park here, or school there, a hotel here. There's always something bad happening, and it's something that before we would have been shocked and horrified, and it would have been all over the newspapers and front headline news, and number 2 and number 3 and 4 and 5 pages inside, and there would be a documentary about it. Channel 4 would be doing stuff. Dispatches would be on it. Nowadays, it's just stuck in page 4, a little clip like that, another child essayed. And that's where we are. That's where we are. We're at a stage now where our children are being abused, and it's not even getting any media coverage. You know, it's just getting a little slot in the local news, and BBC, Sky News don't want to go near it for some reason. You know, the plight of our children don't seem to matter anymore. When so many, it's not so long ago, like a child that something happened bad would happen to our child, it would be all over the news for days and days. You know, it's like it was really a big deal. Remember, you know, like I say, we talk about them. We know all the big cases that's involved children, and how long it went on, and how the predators were like shown who they were, and deep dives and films done about them. You know, documentaries done about the people that were the predators, the people that were guilty of doing these to the children. But nowadays, it's like, oh no, we can't say nothing. We don't say nothing about the victims, and we don't say nothing about the predators. And if you do, you're far right. You're a racist. You know, okay, I'll keep my mouth shut then, you know. That's where we're at. And the government think we can go like that, go forward like that, and everybody's just going to go, okay, that's just the new norm. You know, part and parcel of living in a big city, you know what I mean? But no, we're not. Nobody's really going to be doing that. You know, they would like us to do that, you know what I mean? And with the help of America, and hopefully once this Ukraine-Russia thing, hopefully Russia is opening their doors to anybody in the Western world that wants refuge. Simple as that, you know what I mean? They have made that clear to anybody that wants to come to Russia, that's living in any of these countries where your religion is under threat. Christianity is under threat, churches are disappearing, and we've got the rise of Islam being promoted and pushed by our government, you know, because of the influx of people. You know, and like I keep saying, you know, you can't expect these people not to have mosques. You know, you can't bring all these Muslims over here and then go, no, you just can't have any mosques. You know, at the end of the day, the process is started, and there's only one outcome. You know, and it's plain and obvious to anybody with half a brain cell right now. They know exactly what direction England is going in. And any politician that isn't screaming and shouting from the rooftops about it, like Labour, Tories, Nigel Farage, Reform, are implicit in the destruction of England. And they will go down as that. And our kids and our grandchildren will look back, and they will be, Nigel Farage's name will be there with Starmer and Blair, as you know, and Farage will be the main man like now, because he is basically putting the nail in the coffin by doing this and pushing out people from the right and bringing in people from the left, and turning the Reform just into another Tory and Labour and Lib Dem party. You know, it's even worse than the Lib Dems and the Tories, because they're all in this one now, you know. And we know who the main money men are now. We know what direction they're really going in, and they're just trying to hoodwink the public as long as they can, until they've got the voters that they want. And that will all be made clear in as time goes forward in the next year or two. And I'm still stand by my ground that Reform will be in power within the next couple of years, because the establishment won't want to miss the chance. They won't want a right-wing party rising and threatening the Reform. So once they know Reform is pretty much clear from Labour, there will be something done that will push for another election, and Reform will be handed the keys to 10 Downing Street, and Reform will be the new puppets of the establishment, of the WEF, or whatever you want to, whoever it is, you know, whoever's writing all these speeches for these guys, you know. It's a bit of a coincidence that Labour are talking about fixing it, and Reform have got fix it on their hingy, you know what I mean? I just think it's a little joke from the deep state, you know what I mean? And it's not a coincidence, you know what I mean? Jim will fix it, we all know that. And it's just a wee secret joke, because the same people are writing the same script for both these political parties. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. It's just my opinion of what I think with what I see. You know, an overthinker. You know, I'm not the perfect guy to listen to and take advice from. I'll be the first person to tell you that. You don't have to listen to me. This is what YouTube's all about, guys. And it's just my opinion, you know what I mean? It's just me thinking out aloud. And it just turns out that quite a lot of you seem to be thinking the same thing. So, yeah, onwards and upwards. They think we're all stupid, Freedom Dad. They do indeed. They do indeed. But just please pay attention to those pay attention to what people aren't saying. You know, that's very important. This is a very dangerous time for us all. I keep saying that because of the Northern Ireland thing. You know what I mean? I know how these characters work and how they're going to infiltrate the right, what we think is the right, and people that we look up to, and you're going to see changes. You're going to see some bad stuff and sad stuff, and I'm going to be here to interpret it all for you. So I'm already ready. Got videos pre-made, ready for it, and just as we're going, anything I see, I've been making wee videos, putting it together, making sure because I got my other phone to prove what date it is. I just, put that on, and I turn it on. This is what I do with these videos. I turn it on, and I show you the date, you know. And I'll scroll through the news just to let you know that, this video was done 3 months ago, this video was done 2 months ago, and this is what I'm saying, you know what I mean? Then, just to prove that I'm not just coming out with stuff because something's happened, or it's like, I know what's coming, I know exactly what's coming, I know exactly where it's coming from, and, yeah, you're going to be quite amazed, I think. And I feel a bit sad about it all, so I do. Because, sort of like realization and, dawn arising sort of thing. And it's some things, are hard to swallow, but I'm used to it. I'm used to seeing these things, guys. I'm used to seeing, sorry about hitting the table there. I'm used to seeing people getting turned, I'm used to seeing people change their tune, and there's plenty of evidence out there of people changing their tunes, guys, and you're going to see it. So you are. You're going to see it. I don't know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. It's going to be difficult for them to come and hit certain YouTubers and leave other YouTubers, and like I'm talking about like on X as well. I keep saying YouTubers, but I'm always talking about X because that's where they're focusing on right now. YouTube isn't a problem. They can shut down whoever they want on YouTube. And because a lot of people are in it for money, you know what I mean? Then it's quite easy for people to be bought and paid off. There's no two ways about it. Everybody's got a price. We all know that. And yeah, but I think there will be folk. They're not concerned about YouTube. X is a problem for them. X is a big problem for them. And it worries me where we're going to go with that. Andrew Walker had Ben Habib on a live last night. Andrew Walker was no match for Ben Habib on Faraz. Andrew Walker is a Faraz. Oh, I know. I don't watch Andrew Walker. At the end of the day, guys, I surround myself around. I'm just you learn as you go. You know what I mean? The kind of people I'm listening to right now is British Loader. You know what I mean? Dino being they're the ones bringing the best content, like proper deep diving. Looking at things properly, and you've got no doubt whose side they're on. British Slaughter. There'll never be a time when he'll start changing his tune or going against any other people on the right. And like the Dino being, he's just staunch. He'll never. You can tell who's here for the right reasons. You know what I mean? And yeah, you just gotta take everything as you see it, and just like I say, it's just like when you're outside and you meet somebody and you're like, oh, he's all right, and you spend a bit of time with him and you realise he isn't, and you're not going to hang about with him. Hang about with people especially at times like this, you've got to be very careful. You do have to be very careful, guys. In times like this, you've got to be very, very careful. And that's the only advice I give you, you know what I mean? I do the same with social media, with X, as I do on the outside in life. And that's, don't have people around me that are negative, and only have people around me that are positive, that add substance to my life, you know what I mean? And don't add anything negative. That way, you can't go wrong in life. You're always going to be strong, and you know what I mean. And it's like I say, guys, you've always got to remember the only person that can put you down is yourself. You got to understand that the only people, like when you've got people in your life and they're giving you a hard time, or you walk away. You don't have to have people in your life. This is the thing. We do so much damage to ourselves because you are in control, and it's some things that are hard to do. They are. Some situations that you get yourself into with people are difficult to get out of, but it's all in your head. It is all in your head. It's not as difficult as you might think. You've got to protect yourself. You've got to protect your wee brother. And like I always keep saying to you, remember, it's very easy. It's not so easy to say yes to somebody and then change your mind and no. Okay, but it is easy to say no to somebody than change your mind to yes. Okay, that's always easier for somebody to handle. So that's the way at this kind of advice I give, like all the young ones and all that. Like anybody around me and Katie and any of my mates' kids and all that, when we're having talks about life and stuff, I'd always mention that to them. Don't be so quick to say yes to people. Take your time. And if you're any doubt at all, to say no, and you're good. Because you can always go back and change your mind and say, you know what, I apologise, yeah, I'm up for that. Or yes, I'll do that. Or yes, you can have this. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you're in control of everything. This is like I always keep saying to guys, it is, mental health is really difficult, but you don't make it easier for yourselves, you know what I mean? Because, like I say, like, people can do the only way people can do you damage is by you letting them. By you letting them. It's like if you're in a relationship or you're having it out with somebody online and one of your mates, and you don't need to read the message. You don't need to read the message, and you don't need to reply to the message. That way, it's not in your life at all. They could be going rah, 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 send a message after message, rah, 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 and going off there and all the rest of it, and you're oblivious. You're just enjoying life, going through life, and whereas you could have you could interact with all that carry on and get drawn into all that carry on, and crazy. So you're responsible, guys. It's down to using. You've got so much power, so use it. Use your power. Only have people around you that are positive. Okay. Always do. Always just look after yourself. Time to look after number one. Okay. And don't let nobody take you off your course. You lend somebody a tenner, they don't pay it. Don't not lend somebody else a tenner because that guy never paid you it. Okay? Because that's somebody changing who you are. You know? That's my best advice to people. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody change who you are. Have only people around you. And this is a wee trick that I've picked up lately. Believe it or not, doing these videos. That a lot of people struggle with mental health, you know. And if you're a good soul and a good person at heart, and everybody around you knows who you are, and somebody's got a problem with you, then it's their problem. It's they need to look within. They're struggling with mental health. God knows what's going on in their lives that you probably don't even know about. So do yourself a favour. Try your best to help them. If they're not interested, walk away. But at least you've tried. Good afternoon, Cag. I hope you're good. So I hope that sort of helped you sort of anybody, like, I don't know. You probably know all this. I'm like preaching to the chaplain. Whatever you do, don't think of an elephant sitting on a swing, chatting to a lion on an opposite swing. A moment ago, that image was not there. I put it there. Visualization is powerful. No, I haven't visualized it. Says Max. I haven't. I've just read it out. I'm not even going to go down that road. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. You're bang on. Like it is. That is how simple it is. Exactly like that. Read that comment, guys. I couldn't have put it better. But yeah, we've got problems in this country. We are the ones that have got problems. The patriots, it is a wee bit. Ooh, it's I mean we've got some bad people up against us. You know what I mean? And yeah, I know how dangerous and how bad things can get going forward here. I don't think everybody's quite aware of that. Like you know what I mean? But you know. I do imagine people will be sort of backing off a wee bit and chilling down a wee bit. The more we go forward, the more bad stuff happens. Maybe not. Maybe when Tommy gets out, things will change, and that'll give people a bit more courage to say the things that need to be said and go down a certain route and get people out on the streets and giving people awareness. Because that's what we should be doing. Is like you should be talking to people. You should be saying, "Do you know what's going on?" Like you really should. Anybody that you know has children, and just do it once. Don't do their nuts in. Just say to them, listen, I don't know if you're aware, but this is going on. Did you know this? Bang, 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 bang. Guarantee it. Like everybody I speak to, they're like, what? They're really shocked, and then they go away and they check it because they don't believe you, and then they're messaging you, and they're watching your channel. So we are right. We are right. It's like we aren't wrong. We aren't lying. We aren't giving out misinformation. We're just talking about facts, and we have got genuine concerns for our children. It's not like we're just sitting here wanting to cause trouble and make stuff up. I wish it was the latter, to be honest with you, because you know that would be so much easier for me to deal with, And like I said in my videos, guys, about seriously talking about moving, of course everybody's thinking about it and talking about it. I'm not going to pretend I'm not. I'm not going to sit here like the big true patriot. I'll never leave you, and not be scared to take a bit of flack back, going, oh, if some freedom dad you are when you're leaving. I'll take all that. Of course I will. I'll get that. I understand how people feel. It's not about me. That's how people feel. I can't change that. Nothing I can do. But, that's not going to change how I'm going to protect my daughter. It's not about me. I've done my bit in and out of jail. I've attempts in my life, been here, there, done it. You know what I mean? Don't need to prove to anybody where my patriotism lies. But, my daughter comes first, and I'll take whatever flag I need to take. And people can call me a coward, a traitor, whatever. I don't care. You know what I mean? Nothing like that will ever bother me. The only thing that matters is knowing that my daughter is safe and secure growing up in life. And it's hard because you don't want to end up out of the frying pan in the fire. You know what I mean? So it is a really difficult thing, and it's not something I can just. Something that I need to talk about to people and get lots of people's advice. I've got friends that live in Thailand. I've got friends that live in America. These are British guys, you know what I mean? Mates, like guys that live in Spain. I've got guys that I grew up with and met through life that never lived in this country. As soon as they made their money, they were gone, And I have got offers and stuff like that. So yeah, it's thinking about it. Learn languages, children soak up language, a new language. Yeah, thanks, Tim. That's never really thought about that, mate. Yeah, thanks for that. That's a good idea, like. Maybe something I should think about myself. Maybe learning a language and start teaching my daughter. Yeah, I'll maybe look into that. I don't know if I'm able to learn a language. I don't really have confidence in myself like that, guys. But I would try, I suppose. There would be no harm in trying. So what language would you reckon? What would Spanish? Because that covers quite a lot of countries, doesn't it? Spanish. And then it's connected to some other languages that you could probably jump in and out of, What language would you think I should, or what languages do you think I should teach Lucky? Or get Lucky to learn? That would, help her out in life. Because everything's about when I'm not here. You know what I mean? This is my new fag, by the way. Pain, I've got to have something in my hands. Yeah. Russian. It's a tricky one, Russian, isn't it? Chinese. But yeah, it's just something we're talking about and thinking about. And if the opportunity arises, guys, she's gone. I'm getting Swedish, Icelandic, and Norwegian. Yeah, so they're pretty much are they very close, aren't they? Them languages. Once you get one, you're not too far away from them all, I imagine. Where would she want to go? Spain is close. Yeah, it's not really. I don't think Ducky's really going to get an option. To be honest with you, she's going to be too young to be making decisions. You know. I wouldn't want to leave it too long. I'd want to get her settled somewhere where she's going through schooling everywhere in this new country, That's, if I was going to do it, that's the way I would be doing it, Amby. Yeah. Something that, like, it's still talking about it, thinking about it, knocking it back and forth with different people, and obviously me and Katie together. Um, you know, it is so tricky. Yeah, I know, mate. I know that. I know, but there's a few mates that live out there, you know what I mean? Oh, you see that Danny? So they do. I've seen that Danny a couple of times. Yeah, so I think it must be in about the same areas where the Emmons are. Um, and they seem happy enough there. There's been no problems. Like they've got ground and everything there. wee business. I'm not going to say too much about it because it's not really my business to be talking about anybody else's business. But they seem to be doing all right out there, like, and don't have any problems, and they've been left alone, like, to be honest with you. Yeah, well, definitely going to be doing that. 110%. And more like if we're going to be here, 110% going to be going through private schooling, um, by hook or by crook. Yeah, I will. I'll have a wee look at that. His Max, just getting the time in and just even just learning a couple of phrases. I was picking up Irish no too bad at one time, you know what I mean, and I could speak Thai. Like honestly, like I was really picking up Thai, like getting by, like getting through the day, having saying hello, asking what I want, asking the price, how you doing, thank you, it's a nice day, things, and how much is that? Can you do, just, I can't remember, like, it was just, because it's not exactly our words changed, it's not like that, it's just phrases, and they say them differently, and it was, yeah, Germany is very close to English. I'm not gonna Germany. That is out of the frying pan into the fire, guys, you know, and father, Germany. Yeah, so like I say, just bouncing the idea about. I don't want my child getting brought up in the schools over here. You know what I mean? That's mental. Why would I want my child getting brought up like that? You know what I mean? Children wearing burqas and all that. It's nuts. It's nuts. If we were to put a cross around a Muslim child's neck, there would be hell to pay for it. Absolute hell to pay for it. Do you imagine a load of Muslim kids and the teachers stuck crosses around their necks and dressed them up as nuns? Aye, right. So yeah, that's concerning. That is concerning for me. You know what I mean? And just the whole two-tier of the religious thing, the way it's going in schools and that, and I want my child to be involved in Christianity. I want her to go through dressing up as Mary and all that at school. You know what I mean? That's gone now. That's gone in this country. That is gone in this country. Believe it or not, like you'll not find that. Probably still at parts in Scotland. I doubt very much, and probably some schools in Northern Ireland and Ireland. If you know any different, let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know. But yeah, I imagine that 99% of all religious things to do with Christmas and Moses and baby Christ and all that is disappearing out of schools, 110%. And that reason alone would be a reason to bring a Christian child up in this country anymore. 110%. Never mind the two-tier. Never mind, like, if she gets into any trouble, she's going to get hammered compared to some ethnic minority. You know what I mean? That's on another scale. That's crazy as well. And even if it doesn't really go through, the fact that they're trying, it means they're going to do it, they'll try it again, just because they're not getting away with it. The fact that it's happening, the fact that we've got people in government that are actually bringing out two-tier like that against us, the fact that we've got so many people in Parliament that don't really represent Britain at all. They're more focused in the countries where they come from. They're wanting to build airports in Pakistan while we're all struggling to heat, clothes and feed. That's another reason for, there's no government to represent this. They don't care. They're sending money to Syria, they're sending money all around the world, they're sending money for crazy things, just like the Dodge thing in America. That's what they're discovering. Our country's doing the same. Fingers crossed. Listen, and if he doesn't do it, that's okay. Don't tell him not to worry, because not many people do it first time, but we'll fingers crossed for him, hopefully. Hopefully he does all right, you know. But tell him that, these things do happen in life as well. We do, when you're going towards something, when for whatever reason you will get knocked back, but it's no like you're down and out. You're always able to go again. And that's the ones that succeed, the ones that dust themselves off and go again. Two-tier sentence has been suspended with the help of Robert Jenrick threatening. Yeah, I've seen that. But Bluebell, yeah, suspended is exactly what you're saying. They want to bring these laws out. They will do it. They are. We know where the country's going. We know what direction the country's going in. They're not. This. Look how early on this is. Look at the percentage of the demographic and look what's going on. Look at the councils that are now run by people who do not represent me, are we lucky? You know, there's no, I don't even know who they represent in some of these areas, but the list of cities and towns now in England that have totally changed completely, unrecognisable, you know what I mean, is nuts. Absolutely nuts. I can't get my head around it, and that's never going to change. It's just going to, you know, I've seen way Northern Ireland. You got to understand, we've seen this. Us guys have lived this. We've lived it in Northern Ireland. All right, mate. Let me know best time to call you later, Paul. You're spot on, pal. This country is going down sad, but yeah, anytime, mate. Anytime. Well, say that, you know. Just send me a wee message when you're free, mate. And I'll get right back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, it is. It's concerning. It's concerning that what are the Scottish government going to do? Are they going to behave like the British government, the English government? Are they going to do exactly what the English government are doing to their people in Scotland? And then look at Ireland. Look what Ireland are doing to their people. So you've got to understand where I am. It's all happening all around me, you know. And there we have these two characters. Cheers, brother. These two characters just up the road from me, taking photographs of children in a play park, and the police are hunting two men. They've got the photographs of the two men, but they won't release them. They won't even tell you what they look like. Police are hunting two men, you know. So yeah, that's concerning. You know, that's concerning that men are running about doing these sort of things. You know what I mean? And it's not something I've seen before. It's not something that we've experienced in this life, men blatant. I've seen loads, and it's not just the first time, guys. You know, I don't know how many times I've seen men getting caught filming children. I've seen guys from other countries standing on beaches, filming little girls, little tiny wee girls in bathing costumes, smiling and grinning, you know, sending these videos back to their friends in whatever country they came from. And it's really, really concerning to be a father, to see that how blatant and open they are about it. You know, it's no, they don't feel ashamed. They're no shy. They're no afraid of getting caught. You know, we're attacked at the children. So what? Piss off. You know, let us video your kids. That's, you know, sitting on a bench where the kids are playing, just sitting like that, filming the kids. Unbelievable. That tells you everything you need to know about the sentencing system in England. You know, that these men have got no fear whatsoever of the British police or the British laws, as we see with the sentencing. We see that British men have went to jail for 2 to 3 years for the exact same crime. Muslim men have walked out of court with a conditional discharge or a suspended sentence. You know, we've seen our good old Muslim, we call him, lawyer, who was running for mayor of Leicester, I think, or some one of them towns, you know what I mean, standing outside court, quite proud that he got his men off for a fray. No, a fray is riotous behaviour, causing problems on the street, you know what I mean, throwing bricks and bottles and stuff like that. That's what they got off with. They got off. They never got any prison. So it's clear to tear, you know what I mean? And everywhere you look. And it will be like that in hospitals as well, no doubt. Going forward, you know, there will be, you know, if we're going to be filling, if our doctors and nurses are going, like our police are eventually going to be full of people from other countries, then of course there's going to be bias. You know, just like we see in the Home Office right now. And as you're going to find out with social benefits just shortly, I imagine, hopefully, that you're going to see that the people running the social benefits, the people behind these claimants, the people working in Universal Credit, the people working in PIP. It's going to be very interesting. Then you're going to understand why so many people are getting so much money in this country, and why some of them have got 5 and 6 accounts and they're not even living in this country. It's all down to who's behind the desk, guys. And that's all going to become clear. And but it's going to take another government, and you know, God knows when that'll ever be, guys. Spain has opened its doors to hundreds of thousands of immigrants a year. Obviously, their skills no matter. Demographics still change. Danny Salmon and the PM is woke. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. 22 watching and only 10 likes. Come on, people, hit the like button. Mate, I'm not that kind of channel. I'm really not. I just want people to chill out and relax. You don't have to hit the like button. I know it's just a common thing to do, and thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate it. But at the end of the day, people are busy. You know, I'm not. People hit the likes to get more people on, but all my followers, people that follow me and subscribe to me, will catch up with it when they're free. You know what I mean? And that's all that matters to me. This my channel's here for us. You know what I mean? Buddy like yourself, it's here for any time you want to come on, have a chat and chill and just relax. You know what I mean? Wouldn't be able to do that with 100,000 followers, bro. You know what I mean? It's a totally different channel, totally different setup. You know what I mean? And I don't mind growing, but I just want people that genuinely are interested in what we've got to say, and interested in our community and like-minded souls. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody coming on hating, and anybody that's angry and just wanting to picking people and stuff, and wanting to be bitter and racist and all that, because, and some people are not even meaning to do it. It's just they're overwhelmed with what's happening and they don't know what else to say or how to say it. You know what I mean? And I think some things do come out in frustration. I know, mate. Thanks. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I didn't realize like we were there already, mate. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're just like the rest of them taking a piss already. But yeah, James does that, so he does, and John Capone as well. He likes a bit of a wind up, so he does. But like I say, everybody is going through so much different stuff right now, and everybody's dealing with personal stuff, right? Every one of us is all dealing with all our own personal stuff, but we're all dealing with everything that we're seeing on the internet right now, and it's difficult. It's really difficult, and I think a lot of people are really struggling right now, especially people. I do want to reach out to people that are stuck in the house, people with mental health issues. Because when I say mental health issues, they're brand new. They just can't cope with people. They can't cope with the outside world. They can't cope with confrontation. They can't cope with nothing. They just love being on their own. They love being in their house with their animals, and they're content and they're happy in life, And that's the kind of people that I want to reach out to, because I know there's really good people there. And other people think that they're dossers and they're lazy and layabouts and look down their nose at them, where I know they're not. I know they would love to be able to go out and get a job and interact with people and, jump about with and find a nice group of people where you're in a job with nice people, but there just isn't nice people out there. You end up working with people you don't like, and this is the problem. This is what I keep on saying to these guys. So many people like to shoot the messenger. I knew you were listening, John Capone. I knew you were listening. But, our government tell our kids to work hard, go to school, study, go get a job, you know what I mean? And spend all your life with people you don't like. Spend hardly any time with your family, and I understand why people stay in the house and don't leave the house. Totally get it. Totally get it. Because the world's upside down to some people. The world is really upside down. Why would any man want to spend most of his time away from his children? And spend it with people that he probably doesn't even get on with most of the time, or half the time, But they do. And then they become haters later on in life. They hate everybody. They hate people like me, and, you know what I mean? Oh, he's just a layabout and a tosser, and, you know what I mean? That's your opinion. That's everybody's opinion, you know what I mean? Everybody's got their own opinion of people, you know what I mean? But the main thing is you live your life how you want to live your life, and if you get there when you're 50 and 16, you look back and you think you've made a mistake, that's down to you. Don't take it out on other people, you know what I mean? Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in prison, yeah, definitely, but what an experience. What an experience I've had, and it's over and I've done it. And there was some rough times, but there was some amazing times. And I'll be totally honest with you guys. I don't think I've laughed as hard in prison than I have out in the street, especially as a young adult. So many times I can take myself to moments in prison where I've been sitting with a group of men with tears running down my eyes and laughter. Because even though you might think prison's full of bad men, to me, prisons was full of quite a lot of amazing men, to be honest with you. There was quite a lot of really amazing characters in there. And the Freedom Dad group channel is like a lifeline to me. I ain't been out of the house in over 7 years due to my health. and severe disability and wheelchair bound. Well, brilliant, mate. I'm so glad that you said that, because that means everything to me, you know what I mean? And it makes me want to go on and do more lives and make sure I don't miss a live, because I don't really get that. I do get a lot of feedback, but it's not every day, and not everybody will go, you know what, but like yourself and other ones have left me messages and direct messages and email, personally thank me for bringing a bit of light to their life. Satan Khan is taking the White House of Whitechapel. Not sure if it's the train station or... He's taking the white out at Whitechapel. What? I just read that. What? Don't mess me. Don't mess about, man. You're no way. You know what I mean? Because I've heard a couple of mats crazy things, man, lately. Crazy things that they're changing. And it's like, what? But yeah, like I say, guys, there's loads of reasons people don't go out. Loads of reasons, and it's so difficult because, they're online, like a cag, online, right? And they're seeing what's happening in the world, real life, up to date facts of what's going on. You go to X and boom, 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 boom. You know exactly what's going on. You go to certain YouTubers and they deep dive things and they tell you exactly what the truth is, and you're like, whoa. And then you go on the Sky News and BBC News, like most of you would do, and you're like, what? And then you start realising that all the people that are watching Sky News and BBC News are falling for this because they're not on the internet. And then that starts to really worry you. It does. You're like, oh my God, people are being fucking hoodwinked. Everybody's being lied to. And you realise that the news broadcasters that you've relied on all your news at 10, everybody. I used to land the digger in jail. I used to listen out for it because of Scrooge, and it was a wee moment where I would feel a wee bit outside coming in. Honestly, many a time sat in the digger or. Because you're lying in a cell with no TV, nothing, you know what I mean? And that just hearing that, it does give you that wee bit of a happy glow, because it does, and I don't know how to explain it. It does. It is like a bit of outside coming in. It really is, and getting that realization later on in life that you've been lied to all this time, and the independent news sources aren't so independent after all and are actually working for the government. It is quite shocking. It is quite shocking when realization drops, guys. It is really hard for some people to understand and work out. And, I like to think that this channel opens up another avenue for people where they can see that, hold on, I'm not on my own. There's loads of yous, you know what I mean? And it's happy days. There is loads of yous. I cancelled my TV licence last night, so didn't go through today. I'm expecting a knock at the door. Ambi, don't answer the door. And if you are going to answer the door, video record it. Just video record it. And just say, nope, don't watch your TV. Don't support what yous are doing. Yous are working for the government. The government are working against the people. Now, please remove yourself from my door immediately. That's how you deal with them. I've never paid a TV licence in my life. Never in my life have I paid a TV licence. Never will I ever intend to pay a TV licence. And nobody will ever make me pay a TV licence. Nobody. It's impossible. Impossible, guys. Because I don't watch TV. Prove me otherwise, guys. Simple as that. And see how you get round it, guys. This is how you get round it. Stop watching TV. Do not go near your channels. Do not go near BBC. Don't touch the iPlayers. You don't need to watch anything on TV. There's nothing that you're going to learn. Everything is fixed. Like the whole thing with I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here, Nigel Farage. It was all set up for this moment, for what's going on today. Now we can see the play. So don't get involved in it. Don't get drawn into it. You see, like Google Box and all that. There's no representation of my community. All the adverts. There's no advert that represents my community. The whole thing is a play to work for the government, to brainwash people into thinking a certain way. It's okay to have all these people. Look how inclusive. Look at the diversity. Isn't it so great? Look at Eid. Yay, let's celebrate. And they hide everything that's bad from everybody. Not had TV license in years and TV works fine. Brilliant, Keith. Yeah, good one, mate. Good one. Thank you, John and Bluebell, Leighton, Nan's driving. Thank you, John and Bluebell, Leighton, Nan's driving. So how did he get on? I've missed it. Hold on. Vanda, I can't find you. Oh, he passed! Yay! Oh, well done. Well done, wee man. We're so proud of him, aren't we? Because we were sort of like, thinking he was going, we were hoping we were going to cheer him up after maybe getting a wee feel, you know what I mean? But well done, mate. Well done. That's an achievement. You'll probably do pass first time at everything you do. I swear to God. I'm telling you, anything you put your mind on, if you put the time and effort in it and you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to achieve this, and you do it, and you're convinced that you're going to do it, you will do it. You will do it. There's nothing that you cannot do. And I mean that. You can be whatever you want to be. From this moment on, you can decide to be a pilot. You can be a space astronaut. If you say to yourself, I want to go to space, and you start going to college and going that, I guarantee you, as long as you believe you can do it, you will go to space. You can be an astronaut. So if you can be an astronaut, you can be whatever you want. And I promise you, this isn't a motivational speech. This is facts, guys. People just don't realise it. You all leave school and go, I'm going to start up my own plumbing business. And they leave school and they start up their own plumbing business and they spend their life with their wee business, their wee one van, being a plumber. They go on their 2 holidays a week. They have amazing Christmases. Families comes round every year. Bam, 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 bam. They put a wee bit away for the pension. And if you're lucky enough, you make it to that date. That's when you make it to 70. God willing, you make it to 70. What good that money is to you then, God only knows. Most likely you're just going to pass it on. You know what I mean, at the end of the day. And, yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, what if that man had said, I'm going to own 10 vans. I'm going to own a business with 20 plumbing vans. I'm going to employ 100 men and women. Instead of just thinking, I'm going to leave school and become a plumber and have one van and I'm going to work for myself. Can you understand that your own future is in your own hands? Everything is down to you, what you want. Set your goals really high. Don't be shy. Jeez, you got the whole world ahead of you. You got everything in your hand. I promise you, whatever you wish for will come true. It's like magic. But you've got to walk towards it. You can't just lie in your bed and go, I want to be a millionaire. I'm going to start up my own business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be that. I'm going to be a YouTube sensation. But just lie in your bed and do a wee 5-minute video every day. It's not going to happen. You've really got to walk towards it and make an effort. And if you believe in yourself, you will be successful at anything you put your mind to. And the government and the people in power do not want you to know that. This is why you're never taught this in school. Because they don't want us all. Because they know how powerful we could all become. And they don't want leaders. They want workers. Okay? Your kids aren't being schooled to lead. They're being schooled to work. So it's down to you as a parent how you teach your children. Be whatever you want to be. Yeah, guys, it's 110%. Everything I've wanted in life, I've done. Everything I've put my mind at, I've got it. It's almost like magic. I think about something and I head towards it and it comes. Simple as that. Anywhere I wanted to be, I got to America. 2 firearm bans. I'd already had 2 lifetime firearm bans. 2. So even if I died and came back, I still had another lifetime firearm ban. And I got into America. Bit of luck. But still done it. Just anything you want to do, you can really do it. I just do believe that. Doors just open for you. But you've got to believe. You've just got to believe in yourself. You've got to, like, when I get on that plane, I wasn't thinking, oh, am I going to get stopped? Are we going to get in? I'm thinking, we're just going to do this. We're going to cruise through this. We're going to dazzle them with fucking all sorts of madness. And, like, it was nuts. It was crazy. In the Toronto airport, mental. Absolutely mental. They were throwing chairs about the room, banging tables, going off their nut at us, me and my mate. You know, because we just came back from Thailand and we just ended up in Canada, and the Niagara Falls was frozen. So they had their suspicions. They had their suspicions. So yeah, it was nuts. But we got through. We got in, you know. So yeah, that's just a wee example of the power of the mind and the power of believing in yourself, you know. You truly are. And people are saying, why are you not a millionaire? I don't want to be a millionaire. I just want to be happy. I don't think like that. I think about me being healthy, living for as long as I can, enjoying my child. I manifest me lifting my child up when she's 3, 4, on my shoulders when she's 5, 6, walking her school when she's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You know what I mean? Helping her fill in her CV when she's 16, dropping her off at her job interview. You know, that's what I'm wanting in life. That's what I'm walking towards, guys. I'm not thinking about money and fat. I've had it all. Had been there, and what a waste that was, you know, what a waste, you know, wanting a load of high expensive cars, wanting a bungalow, I want a bar in my garden, I want to own a boat. Done it all when I was 25, had it all, had a boat in my garden and never seen water, a big massive huge boat. Crazy, absolutely crazy, for nothing, just a child's dream. Just a childhood dream. This is what I'm going to be. This is who I'm going to be, and this is what I'm going to achieve. And I'd done it by the time I was 25. I got to exactly where I wanted to be as that child. I wanted to be a soldier. I wanted to be in the army, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't do it because of my firearms ban when I was 16. And from then on, I knew exactly what direction I was going in. And when I got there, I wasn't happy. When I got my dream fulfilled, it wasn't what I thought. And I cut that dream off straight away and walked away from that dream. And where did that leave me? It left me in limbo. Because all my dreams and ambitions and everything I drove for as a young man, it just, as an adult, it looked completely different, you know. Everything I put my mind to, I've completed, yeah. I'd like to play piano. Yeah, and it's just the same concept with everything going through in life, you know. It's up to you what you put in your head. It's up to you what you see. It's up to you what you hear. It's up to you who you have in front of you. You have that complete choice. You have the choice of watching shit YouTube channels or amazing YouTube channels. You have the choice of being around good, solid friends, or you've got a choice of being around people that you wouldn't trust as far as you can throw them. Everything's down to you. You can complete control of everything you see and touch around you. And people don't realise that. They complain whenever somebody comes in their life and causes problems, but you've let them into your life. You know, you had that niggly feeling right from the start and you never paid any attention to it. And we've all got that. This is what I'm saying. I learnt it through prison, through survival, through needing to know who's in front of you. You know, needing to know after being abused and groomed, you learn pretty quick that not everybody is what they seem. And some situations you can get into are very, very dangerous. You know, so you need to know who's in front of you pretty sharpish before you go further. As a child, being a frightened person, being scared, you know, being let down by adults and older kids, it sets you up a certain way in life, you know what I mean? And that's where I learned to read people and understand what people are about. And yes, I still make mistakes. Of course I do. You know, and it's no like I make mistakes whereas I don't listen to my inner self. I don't really look. Some people you come across and you don't look for it. You just take them on face value and they don't really mean anything to you until they do start to mean something to you. Then you realise, I should have paid a wee bit more attention to this character. But then you can. That's when you can really, as long as they don't know your hand, then you can do a lot so you can to protect yourself going forward with certain things in life, because you never talk, say it, never show your cards basically. you know like I say, words are very important. What you say are very important. You know what I mean? It's almost like there's an invisible bad person there listening to everything you say. And when you say things, they pay attention and they try and act in a way to stop it. So I know it sounds nuts. I know you're going to be thinking, Freedom Dad, this is far out there, invisible people listening to everything you're saying. I understand. It's the only way I can explain it to you. Be careful what you say. You've got to be careful what comes out of your mouth. If there is, say there is, spirits or something there that's constantly trying to take you off your path, and the only thing they work on is what you say. They can't hear what's in here. They can only hear what's coming out. Imagine that. Just imagine that. Can you see how much damage that could do to you if it was real? So I don't know what else to say it, but I have found going through life that saying a plan or speaking about an ambition or a goal to somebody sometimes can be the end of it, because it's out. And I don't know how else to explain that, but I find whenever I've got plans and goals and ambitions and I keep them really quiet and don't tell nobody, but it's all working in here and I'm heading towards a certain direction, I've never failed, never once failed. And that's all I can say about that, guys. And whether you want to believe me or whether you think I'm talking absolute maniaca, at least think about it and try it going forward. Just have a wee go. Whenever you're about to say something to somebody about, oh, I'm going to do this and this is my plan, stop. Just stop. If you don't need to tell them, don't tell them. If they don't need to know, if you telling them doesn't serve any purpose at all, don't say it. Keep it yourself. Okay? That's a bit of advice that really, really works for me going forward in life. Yeah, Leighton, well done. We are also chuffed for you, young man. But yeah, some I don't even know how to say the word. Some philosophy stuff coming out today, guys, you know what I mean? But yeah, we're always learning. We're always learning. And I want you guys just to be so solid and so strong, that untouchable. Because it's so easy to be untouchable, And it really annoys people, because it's just a good trait to have, you know what I mean? I'll call people out, don't get me wrong, if I feel, certain things, but I always believe there's a time and a place. There's always a time and a place for some things. Some things need to be dealt with straight away, and some things you need to hold back. Depending on how much damage you want to do that person. If they're hurting you, you want to hurt them back, not the way it is. Especially if they're bad and you can do them, you can do them a good fair one back, you know what I mean? Then, yeah, I never tell people, you got to deal with everything the way you feel. You got to deal with it. Don't hold any hatred. Just what I normally do is put stuff away in a wee cupboard and file it, and then as I'm going forward, just keep an eye on things and make sure you know exactly things that you need to know. And then when the time's right, you'll know what to do. That's what I always believe. Whether it's walk away or expose, one of the two. You know what I mean? And then you can settle down, knowing that, because you're always right. As long as you're right and you're not a bullshitter and you're not, again, you know what I mean, you're always being truthful and straight with people, then you can't go wrong, guys. You really can't go wrong, because you will attract a lot of bad men, bad women. You will attract evil that will try and put you down. Like I say, what's what you say, guys. Hello, Eddie. It's like speaking to you all day. I've said hello to you this morning. You know what I mean? Caught a couple of stuff. Quite a lot of you I'm in touch with quite a lot at a time. They're never far away. But I hope everybody else is good. You know what I mean? I'll try and get a wee photograph of the tooth. You know what I mean? Our first tooth coming through. So yeah, it must have came through the other night in the middle of the night. That's why she was screaming. Look, first time dad. We learn as we go. So we do. But yeah, we were just talking about, anybody's just jumping on, we were just talking about LePen, Tommy Robinson, Donald Trump, hi Rupert, low. You know what I mean? How people from the right are under attack. Andrew Tate, Conor McGregor. You know, it's all there. Like, you could just tick them all off. And where does that leave Arthur? Now, what's coming for Nick? What have they got in plan for Nick? You know, what have they got in plan for Rupert? You know, anybody that's going to lead the right now are going to come under attack. You know, and that's clear now. You know, anything comes out now, you're going to take with a pinch of salt, and you're just going to go, oh, he's working for the left, or he's this or that. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is one of the things I was talking about. You know, it will come down to stuff like this, and you know, like I say, I think they're going. There's some tricks coming to be playing. I think what I think's going to happen. I think they're going to put a lot of misinformation out, false stuff out, and patriots are going to share it, and it's going to be totally fake, and then they're going to come down hard on everybody that shared it. You know, that's one of the directions I think they'll go in, and it will be orchestrated by the government and the far left. You know, they'll use people like Nick Lowles and racism and stuff like that. That's who we're up against. It's really dangerous for us all, but it's not. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? We know what's coming, we know what's ahead of us, and we've got Elon Musk and Trump. So that's the one thing that's in our favour. We've got nothing else going for us apart from Elon Musk and Trump. And they're basically going to blackmail Britain for us. They're going to, I imagine they're probably trying to get Tommy Robinson out of jail right now. 100%. I would put money on that, like, that Tommy Robinson, they are saying that about Tommy Robinson being in jail, and they think it's disgusting. Without a doubt, everybody in the world thinks it's disgusting what they're doing to this young man, and that's, I think, what all these trade wars are about right now. I really do. When they're talking about the freedom of speech, they're talking about Tommy Robinson, but they won't ever admit that. They won't come out and say it because they don't want Tommy's name getting brought up. They don't want people to realise how much Tommy Robinson has support around the world and in Britain. You know, the only people that don't support Tommy Robinson is the British government. Most of the foreigners have come into the country, and most Muslims, because they believe that he's totally anti all Muslims because of the rhetoric of the government, and a few British people still left there that think he's a racist, even though they can't find nothing that he says racist online, but they still believe that because the government have told them. So, yeah, that's, you know, you're Nick Knowles, hope not hate, and that's it. Everybody else in Great Britain support Tommy Robinson in one way or the other. If they don't support him as a person, they support him as the era, as the movement, you know. And yeah, it's quite remarkable. Quite remarkable. Like, even the video that he done, fucking hell, man. You know, even like the platforms that we have right now, you know, the amount of views some of our guys are getting, and the support, and how quick they're growing. You know what I mean? Unbelievable how quick these platforms are growing, you know. And it's great to see. It is absolutely amazing to see, you know. And it's just going to blow up. It really is going to blow up, so it is. And that's where the problems are going to lie. As soon as things start getting big in Britain, then that's whenever we're all going to come under attack. We've got the freedom, the Union of Free Speech or something. So we've got them as well. Like, I don't know how much power they have going forward. Yes, Trump has pointed out the Word Starmer's treatment of our free speech, and tariffs are going to be set accordingly. So that's even more money that we're going to be hit with, along with all the money that we're forking out, along with all the money that we're paying everybody that's coming into this country, which is billions a month now, we know. Yeah, now they're going to be forking out loads of money in trade deals. They're beat. The government's beat. Absolutely, 110% beat. You know, come next year, there's going to be no money for councils. There's going to be no money for NHS. There's going to be no money for national health. The roads are going to be going to put. Everything's going to just go downhill, and it's going to affect so many people. And that's when we're going to get in our general election, and that's when Reform will get in the power, guys. And Nigel Farage will be the next Prime Minister, and then Mohammed Yusuf will be the next Prime Minister. After that, you know, and you could go to the bookies with that one. If you are betting, I would advise you to go and stick a few quid on that. So I would. Nigel Farage to be the next Prime Minister. You know, don't know what the odds are. If any of you want to check the odds of the next Prime Minister, you know, be interesting to find out actually. Let me have a wee look. Oh, my phone's not charged. If somebody can Google it, just put in what's the odds for the next Prime Minister of Great Britain and see what price Nigel Farage has and see who's at the top. Yusuf. I can't remember because I keep getting them mixed up with Hamza Yusuf that was in, the one that was going on about everybody being too white in Scotland. Yeah, so we can see what happens when, like, we see what Khan's doing. We can see what the state of all these councils are that have been taken over. Been voted. Muslims have been voted in the power, and you'll see as the years go on how good it's been, whether it's been a good thing or a bad thing. And then we've seen with Hamza Yusuf getting in the power in Scotland. We've seen how hard he went on people being white, how racist he truly was against the people in Scotland. No, there's no, and I say that with confidence, the man is racist. To stand up and say that a country's too white, that people in charge, all the people in charge are white and complain about that in a white country, that's racism on another level. And how he never got done for that is beyond me. If I was to stand up in an African country and say that everybody was black and it's not acceptable, I would probably be arrested for that as some sort of hate crime. Or worse, so there's no doubt in my mind as a human being, as a man growing up, just logically, that yeah, he's very racist, and he was actually the first minister of Scotland, So this goes to show you. So my uncle warned me of this 30 years ago. Eddie Cool. Farage is going to drive all the way to the door and then drop off Yusuf to go through and then hello Islam. Anyone but Islamic Labour Party. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Reform are the new Labour. 110%. And you're all going to see that. Just like I've been saying right from the very start about Nigel Farage and how he's not to be trusted and he's conning people. 5-6 months ago I was saying this, guys, check my videos. So I'm sticking to this as well. Reform are being set up as a new Labour Party. And people that are voting Labour, like your Owen Jones and all that, that did vote Labour, they will vote for reform. And the reason why all these people will vote for reform is because it's the only way they're going to stop another right-wing party getting in. The only way that in the future that, because when it comes to the crunch, you're going to see a big change in patriotism. If it's only UKIP, they're going to get behind UKIP or your Homeland, and they're all going to come together and form one big group. They will, because it's the only way we can save our country. And the only way of stopping that is by voting reform. Isn't that nuts? The only way to stopping the deportation of all the criminals and all the people who have done so much harm to our children that are running about the streets right now with our victims, the only way these people are going to stop that from happening is by voting for reform. And, that is 100%. You can guarantee it. Who else can they vote for? Think about it when it comes to the crunch. So Labour is non-existent. They know a vote for Labour is going to be a wasted vote because they're going to be so down in the polls. Nobody's going to be voting for Labour, right? We know that. Tories, they're done. Well, they are done. They're just going to take patriots away from the right-wing patriot group, political party. So you're going to be left with a group of patriots like UKIP, Homeland, ADF, and whoever Rupert Lowe and all that go together with, whoever Tommy Robinson and all that go with. That's the group you're going to be with. So they're all going to be pushing for immediate deportation of every single person that's come into this country illegally, and everybody that's come into this country that's committed crimes going back 20 years are gone. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to drive these people, and that's why people are going to vote them in. And so you're going to have the people that support these people have come into this country and done these things to our children. All these people like Owen Joneses and your Hope Not Hating your Nick Rolls. These people that support these people and want them to stay will only have one option. And that's to vote for reform. And this is why I'm telling you they're the new Labour. And this is why Nigel Farage has preached everybody out. I can't seem to get it across enough to people. And I know you guys are waking up. I'm just hoping he's passed this on and other people get to hear this. And somebody just flicking through goes, I never really thought of it like that. That makes a lot of sense because it's been making a lot of sense for me for the last 5-6 months, and it's been really frustrating that nobody's been listening to me. All I've had is hate and going from loads of followings to hardly any, and that bothered me. I was glad of that, to be honest with you, because it was going in a direction I couldn't handle. So yeah, what I mean. I was quite chuffed for that, to be honest with you. I'm sad, I was sad that people thought that it was just hating and that they couldn't really understand because Lucky wasn't here neither at the time. You know what I mean? Katie was out to here. You know what I mean? And I don't think people really realise that I truly did have I'm just my daughter at mind, you know what I mean? I'm not here for likes and money and all the rest of it. I'm not here to make myself famous. I don't want to be famous. I just want to look after my baby and have a really happy life and enjoy the world we live in and make good friends and enjoy the life. I don't want to be stuck behind a camera all the time and doing this kind of thing. I want to get out and enjoy and do things, you know what I mean? Walk my dogs and stuff, sit out in the sun, maybe have a wee beer in the summer. I want to just relax and enjoy life. The last, years I've got, I'm not here to hate. I'm truly not. I'm here to warn people and wake people up and say, listen, this is what's really going to happen. This is what's happening. This is who reform are. Nigel Farage has been compromised, Yeah, that's right, Eddie. You're right. That's going to get reform loads of votes. That's why it escalating the amount arriving now. Yeah, Bluebell. Yep, there's loads of us in here. That's why you have stayed with me for so long because you're like, Freedom Dad's the only one talking sense. Freedom Dad's the only one saying how it is. You know what I mean? And that is about it is 110%. I get that, and that's why I love my community because the guys that stuck with me from the very start. Or this is why I've always said, and this is now you'll understand why I've always said, I truly believe my community are the brightest and the smartest out there. I really do. Out of everybody's YouTube channels, and I don't care what people think, you can take a piss out of me all you want, I do believe that. I do believe my community, the most awake and most intelligent people on YouTube. Simple as that. Yeah. I've said that a few times, and now you can sort of understand that I'm not just saying it, I'm fucking genuine. And this is why I'm genuine. Mate, with you, hoodwinked again, aren't we all? Yeah. Yeah, it's like we've been played. What a hand they've played. Fuck. Didn't see it coming. I thought I knew Farage couldn't be trusted, right? I knew that, but I didn't think they would have got reform the way they got reform. When they started flicking people away that were talking about Tommy Robinson, and then they started throwing out the big ones that were talking about deportation, that's when the penny dropped for me, and then it all clicked. GB News, celebrity get me out of here. He's been made for this. They've got Nigel Farage, you're going to work for us. You're going to get the British people to believe that you're going to go a certain way, then you're going to change, and you're not going to deport anybody. You're just going to say you're going to deport anybody, but anybody comes in, you're going to do a token. But anybody that's in, you're keeping them. Let these people stay. They're going to stay. They're going to integrate. They're going to multiply. And this is what we want. This is what's happening, and you better not do anything different. And that's exactly what's happened now. Reform has been compromised, and like all these people that you see, and it's quite strange, is it not? Have you not noticed that quite a lot of people that are jumping about supporting Nigel Farage don't have any children, and don't even plan to have children? Is that not very, very strange? So that tells me that they know exactly what they're doing. They know Nigel Farage has been compromised. They know reform's been compromised, but they don't care. They've all got plenty of money, and they can leave anytime they want. They don't have any children vested in this country. They don't care about Great Britain like we do. Yeah, it says Max, that's what you're going to get, but don't worry. All will come clear eventually, don't say too much, but yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Everything will become clear one day, soon, But this is the world we live in. This is the battleground, Lots of people are being infiltrated and compromised and bought off, and there's going to be just like you got to understand, it's happened in America. With the Bidens done it. This government's doing it right now. I saw a few texts going to a live up again with a chance of being released. The 11th, yeah, I'm hoping Trump and that, I think, like I keep saying, I haven't said it as you know, some of you know that I speak privately, I am hoping that Tommy will get out soon because of what's going on in America, and I do think they are really driving to get Tommy out, and everything about the trade thing is about Tommy Robinson. People are truly concerned about his mental health. People are truly concerned about his safety. Genuine, really important, rich, educated people around the world are concerned about the mental health and the safety of a young man from Luton. you know. And yeah, and they're also shocked and disgusted that the government are doing this to another human being in 2025 in Great Britain, you know, to accommodate the replacement. That's what it's all about, you know. Tommy's been shouting about this for a long time and trying to warn people, and this is their way of stopping people being warned, you know. But what all it's done is highlight it now to everybody and highlight it to the world what they've done. I can't get my head around it. Why Labour have done this? Why have they showed the whole world how bad British government truly is and what they're doing to the British people and how they're destroying the country? Like the videos of Birmingham is like going all around the world, and people are like going, "Oh my God, England's unrecognisable." Videos of city centres and towns in London where there's no British people at all. It's just people in burqas and people, women all covered up, and men with beards, and it's just like a lot of English people living around the world are absolutely cannot believe what's going on, and yeah, it's Labour. Thanks to Labour, they've basically just went with a big howl and hailer and like, look what we're doing to Britain, you know. Whereas they could have went a wee bit longer without being hanged, but it tells you that they don't care. Yeah, the Bank of Dave, I think that was. I don't know what happened to him. I remember that. The Bank of Dave, it was called. Oh, I don't know, man. Okay, I think he would be easy enough. Yeah, Farage wouldn't debate anybody like me. No, no, no. Farage isn't going to debate nobody. You know what I mean? Farage will not answer any questions unless he won't. Now, because of the mistakes he's made by blunderingly telling us that he wasn't deporting anybody and we've got to take them with us, and if we don't, we're in trouble. You know, from this day forth, he will not do any more interviews unless he knows exactly what questions are being asked. As you can see with the Sky News report, the one Australian, that was all, you know, it was all about him. Me, 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 me. I'm going to bring that video. I'm going to deep dive that video because it's interesting. Tiger, what's that then? Tiger, what's that then? I don't know what that is. I think pulling the plug on Tommy in court was a shocker for a lot of people. Yeah, mate. Yeah. Ambi, I'm sorry I didn't get that. Maybe it's a misspelling or something. Tiger, what's that then? You know. Yeah, they have shown their hand to the world, and the world are shocked. They're shocked at what we're going through. They're shocked at who's in power. They're shocked at what's going on in Westminster. They're shocked at what the King's doing. It's just an eye-opener for the rest of the world. And it's a warning to everybody. It's a warning to Northern Ireland, a warning to Scotland. Eventually, people in Scotland will be going, oof. You know, I know they are. They're all going, oof. You know, it's not happening here. So I think any political party going forward in Scotland, like in Northern Ireland, they have got their work cut out. And they're going to be asked the same question when they're doing their canvassing. What's your policy on immigration in Scotland? That's the main question that they're all going to be asked. I think it's begun during the banking crisis. Folk would put money into a community bank, and anybody needed help would get a loan without interest. Yeah, a bank of Dave, I'm sure it was. Well, yeah, guys, thanks for coming on. Hour and a half, no bad. We'll let it roll it out for an hour wee bit. Not too long, like, because I just want to go and make sure Lucky's alright. I think Katie and Lucky are away out right now, but I just want to make sure I get the bottles ready and everything for coming back. Get the sterilizer on. Make sure we need to stay on top of it. Sometimes you just like forget and you realise you've all the bottles are sitting everywhere. You know what I mean? Because it's just been non-stop. And then Lucky's down and you're like, there's no milk ready. There's no bottle sterilised. And like if she wakes up, you've only got 10 minutes. Like when she wakes up, you've got about 10, 50. If you play about with her and keep her hanging, then she's okay. But, geez, if she's hungry and you don't have that bottle ready, she lets you know. And she doesn't cry, she screams. She just goes, ah, really angry. Oh, that's okay. No, you're okay. No problem. It's just a spelling. It's Max, isn't it? Tizer. Tizer. I think that's what you're saying, tiger. Or is that I don't know if it's maybe a queue. Oh, who we got here? Hello? What's going on, Tulip? Huh? What is going on? Eh? You staying with your dad? You had a big walk today? Did you have a big walk with your dad? Hmm? Just get a wee channel for her, shouldn't we? Yeah. Could be a lot worse things. So there could like... Oh, big yawns. Yeah. Big yawns, baby. You love your dad? I know you love your daddy. Eh? You're just a wee baby, aren't you? Yes, I know. She's just a wee baby, guys. Just a absolute total pet of a dog. Just wants cuddles all the time. Doesn't want to be, stuck to me like glue. Everywhere I go, she's right there. And yeah, even in the shop, she goes into the shop with me. Everybody knows her, you know what I mean? I try leaving her outside and she just barks and barks and barks. And all the girls would be like, oh, I know you're in. Can hear the dog barking, you know? So I normally take her in. So I do and just carry her under my shoulder. I'm scared of somebody stealing her as well, you know what I mean? She's a teacup, you know what I mean? Her pups are worth £2,000 each, you know? I know it's not a lot of money for dogs, like, but her pups are worth a lot of money, you know? And she would just be, somebody would steal her and just beat her. So they would, and I wouldn't be having that. Sure wouldn't. It's a microphone. It's just a microphone. Look, it's okay. Oh, she's a scared of it. She's a scared of the mic. Wow. Whoa. What is it? Look at her face, guys. Oh, what? Look at that face. It's okay, baby. It's just a mic. It's not going to do you any harm. Oh, I don't like her being scared. Oh, why isn't her being scared of the mic? She must think it's like a snake or something. You're okay. It's okay. Part of this Freedom Dad team, young Tulip. She's part of my videos, and she's like always been there in my videos, my walk and talks. Because it's only been the last month or so in it since I've been doing the lives, really, like the last couple of months. Because it was always just videos I done. And I never really thought about doing lives. And then, to be honest with you guys, it was the interaction. It was the, like, leaving comments and then replying the comments. And then, you know, if you say something, I reply. And then if you replied again, I wasn't catching it, you know, because then it would be an hour video and maybe an hour two videos. And then I'm dealing with other comments. So, yeah, that was frustrating, you know what I mean? Because I didn't like people like replying to me and me not answering. So I thought the lives was perfect. The lives is perfect for us coming on, getting a wee chat and getting to know each other a bit better and getting to know each other, not just me, you guys. But that's 1:37. So I'm sad, man. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I will come live later on. I will. I'm going to get everything done here. Find out what the crack is with Cutie and this horse. And yeah, come live later on because I want to catch up with a few of my mates that are working, you know what I mean? Some of them, like, after their work they come in and they like the catch alive. Some of my mates are on their own, you know what I mean? They live on their own and they work, you know, and they've got kids and they, you know, they have girlfriends and stuff like that, but you know their main thing is their kids, and the house is for their kids, so they don't have another woman there. And well, I've got two mates that are like that. They live on their own cracking houses as well, and their kids come and go, you know, like because they stay with their mum, so they don't like, that's it. Their houses, they're working and they're there at the weekends for their kids, and they come home and they get their dinner and they stick me on if I'm live at 6:30. And that's why I do the live at 6:30, guys, to be honest with you. You know, to try and accommodate people coming in from work that miss these, and like, you know, that's a bad mic upsetting Tulip. I know, mate, I know. God love her, eh? God love her. See, oh, how can you not love a wee dog like this? Don't understand these guys that don't like dogs. Doesn't make any sense. The Armand's best friend, like, and she doesn't want to be apart from me, like, all day. She does not want to be apart from me, and I hate leaving her. You know what I mean? Especially with the baby, because she can't be up in the room with the baby and stuff like that. And the Chargos deal has been signed off. Fuck's sake. Oh well, repercussions from that as well. There'll be a punishment for that from Britain. The Americans won't take that too kindly. We'll see. I don't really know that much about it. It's a bit far out there for me, you know what I mean? I'm not that clued up, guys. Look at my pic, my Buster. I will. I can't click on it right now, I don't think. I'm not sure what would happen here. I'm getting blocked or something. I clicked on your name. So I will have a wee look, so I will. I'll put a TikTok out with my new logos on it. If any of you have got TikTok, my last TikTok, it's got my logo, the new logo that I've got, and yeah, we'll get on to that. I need to pin Katie down because she's sorted it all out. So I need to pin Katie down and get her to show me how to get this other channel up on my phone. What I don't understand is Trump was actually not bothered about it. Very strange. Maybe it's because there was nothing he could do about it and he didn't want to, because think about it, right? So if he was really angry about it, would he really show that? If there's nothing he can do about it, if he can't change it, or maybe something's going to happen and he doesn't want people going, oh, it's because of the Chagos thing. You get me? So he's going, no, I wasn't bothered about that. You get me? So I don't know. I wouldn't take that. I may be wrong, Eddie. I don't know. But what do you think? What do you think yourself? Do you think he's truly doesn't care about it? We'll find out in due course what's going on. Trump signed it off. Maybe Osama's got his little black book out, but very strange. Very strange. We'll see what happens with Tommy. We'll see what happens with Tommy. Who knows? Maybe Trump and all that are just as bad as the rest of them. Who knows? Maybe the Americans have been duped just like we've been trying to get duped with reform. You never know, guys. You never know. Legal steer looked after peeps. Later. Legal. Epstein's. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, interesting cut on it, Harry. Maybe Dan O'Brien will do a video about it. Have a chat with him. See if he'll do a video about it, man. Because we need somebody to bring sort of light to understand it, you know what I mean? And 100%, he's one of the best out there for doing that. Like, watch that boy grow. Danny's guys, you want to see him grow. Like, big game of chess going on with the elites. Yeah, definitely, John Capone. But like I say, we're on the winning side. You know what I mean? Trump's senators won't let it happen. They're going nuts for him, Dad. If billionaires had everyone's best interests at heart, what happened to Rishi Sunak? Yeah, well, he doesn't need to worry about nothing, does he? He's been bought and paid for. Like, he's got everything he wants. That's why he's probably a millionaire. His missus has probably got more money than him. I think they got more money than we can imagine. These people, you know. As far as Rishi Sunak concerned, you know what I mean? I think they can't control everything. They can only, they can't control us. They can't control who we vote for. They can try and get reform in a situation where the patriots believe that they're the answer for us and we vote for them, then we get another 4 years of Labour. Yeah, they can try and do that. But we're the ones that can vote. We can decide, you know. All they can do is try. Like Rishi Sunak and other things that they've tried, not always will it work out for them. Look what they tried to do with Trump. Trump did win that the last time, and they took that. And then Biden, Starmer, Macron, Conservatives have all been loving it, you know. And then they didn't expect that to come. Boom, destroyed, gone. See you later, Biden. Trump's in charge, and now they're dealing with Starmer. We've just got to get rid of the far left Labour and the far left French, and we should then be able to sort out the immigration problem, because that is the problem. It's the governments that are the problem. The governments are solely responsible. Macron is solely responsible for both the problems in our country and the problems in his own country. The buck stops there. You know, Marie Le Pen is trying to fix it. and they don't want it fixed. That's why she's been done. So no matter what Stormer says about boats and doing this and that, we know nothing's going to happen. We know that anybody that comes out to try and fix the boats are going to get jailed, just like Tommy. Anybody who speaks out against irregular immigration is going to get jailed or put down or silenced, just like LePen, Tommy, and every other right-wing activist that we see being victimised right now. Lawrence, Fox, again, another one. The Tate brothers, again, still going on today. You got to think about it. Think about it. Conor McGregor as well. Come on, guys. These guys don't need to do things to women. That's nuts. Do you honestly think a man's going to risk his reputation and his billions and millions on some woman that he met? Come on. We're a lot more intelligent than that. But this is what they're going to do. This is the tricks. This is what they're up to, you know. And, yeah, there's going to be people that are connected to the police and the government that are around us that are going to be coming hard at us. Be ready for that as well. But, yeah, there's lots of problems coming for right-wing patriots. Guys have got big X accounts and that. Big problems coming. And, yeah, like everywhere else, we've been infiltrated big time. And they're all sitting waiting to make their moves, you know. And be ready for it. And always remember, give it 24 hours, guys. Always give it 24 hours and let the dust settle. Let everybody have their right to reply. Let the people that are being accused, whatever it is, let them explain to you what's going on and why people are doing what they're doing. Because the truth will set you free. You know, it is, like I've said from the start, it is a very interesting time. Very interesting time. And a lot of people are worried and scared. I'm not one of them people, you know. Things I've been through, things I've experienced, the corners I've been in, situations, the attempts, like almost dying, you know, knowing I'm almost dying a couple of times, dying and coming back, you know. There's nothing can bother me because I always believe I'm the smartest person in the room. There you go. You know what I mean? Sorry if that offends anybody, but I've always said that, you know, because you don't need to be super intelligent to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to be able to read the room. And I'm an expert at reading rooms, you know. And, yeah, Jeremy Corbyn. Yeah. Get rid of everybody left leaning. Yeah. So, guys, going to wrap it up. Thank you, all 18 to 30 odds that was in the chat. Thank you all for popping in. Thanks you, even the ones that aren't commenting that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the guys that are dropping the likes. 23 likes. That's amazing. You know, you don't need to. You just want you to come on and relax and chill out and enjoy it. So let me just quickly say a cheerio to you guys. Vanda, John, Eddie, Keith, Bluebell. Vanda, of course, Tizmax, thanks for your input, Tizman, really appreciate it. John Capone, always a pleasure. Ambi, and I think that is Keith, Eddie Cool, Cag. Yeah, that's just all the content creators, because you are creating the content today, guys. You guys are leaving the comments. And just giving you a platform for you to be creative. That's the way I look at this. When you are commenting and interacting, you are being creative. You would have to be completely blind if you didn't see what's happening. Every big voice, they try their best to convict them or some sort of sexual charges. Yes. Oh, yes. More to come, guys. More to come. Buckle up. It's going to be a roller coaster. It really is. But listen. You are at the right channel. You are believing in the right person. You know, no matter what you hear, no matter what people might say, just wait, and I promise you, I will never let you down. I've got the receipts of everything. You know, I know who I am. Everybody around me knows who I am. I've grew up with lots of people in my life, foster families, and all sorts of stuff that people came and go in my life. So I've got a lot of people who can, you know, they've judged me, and they can give you their verdict of who I am, you know. And yeah, I've got no back doors in me, you know. I've got to protect myself, obviously, from the far left and people the haters, you know what I mean. We don't want to give them any ammunition. So there is things I have to be careful on what I say, and some things I do weigh up. Do I need to say it? You know, some things I would like to tell you, but in the long run, would it be worth it? And there's things that I want to say that I want to wait till I've got more support, more following, more subscribers. I need a little army behind me, so I do right now for some things. So we will get there eventually, guys. You know what I mean? And we will do good. We will do good for this country. We will do good for patriotism. And yeah, we're going to do good for content creators, hopefully, as well. And help each other out and everything. And yeah, interesting times ahead, guys. But listen, the only reason I know so much is because of Northern Ireland, because of the people that I know, the people that I've been around, and I still have friends that I can't really say too much, but you'd be surprised. One day, hopefully, when I write my book, I promise you I'm going to give you everything when I write my book. I promise you, every single thing, every little bit that I know that's going to shock you guys. I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring it out, because it's all in the past now anyway. And some of it's quite relevant today, and stuff that's happening today. I'm taking me notes and doing me screen records and stuff. So everything will come together. All the mistakes I've made, the people I've trusted who have let me down and failed me, things like that. How I've gone through life being let down, and things, and it's quite remarkable, and it gives you, hopefully at the end, it'll show you how you don't need to be special to be strong. You don't need to be a special person or be brought up a certain way to become like a good human being, a clever, like, I believe, like, tuned right in to the world, tuned right into nature. You just need to have a couple of wee skills, and hopefully by the time I get everything out, that will give people the strength that if they find themselves in children's homes, if they find themselves in prison, and they're not bad people, and they've went through stuff, and hopefully they'll learn a wee bit from me how to deal with it, and then what they expect, the haters, and how people truly are, and how people can be perceived, and then how you can miss things in people, and I'm going to bring examples and proof of that, and yeah. Like I say, it is in progress. I am doing stuff because things are happening a lot right now, and I'm quite surprised myself. So I am doing a lot of research and a lot of stuff to prove my points of how you can be failed and let down by people, even at 55. So quite remarkable stuff. It will be. I think it will be. It'll be a bit of an eye-opener, a bit of a sociology project as well of the humankind and people, and how to deal with it, and how to be strong, and how to go forward, protecting yourself. That's what I hope to do with my book. It's not going to be about me and who I am and what I've done. It will be more about how I've dealt with what I've done, and how I've dealt with how I've been treated, and how I am who I am today. And I think that's the biggest part. How did somebody like me get to where I am today? That's still okay to a certain degree. I've got my problems, but I'm okay. I'm doing okay. So yeah, that's what it's all about, guys. You know what I mean? And it's about sharing that love, sharing that experience, and giving other people hope. And just like Cag said today, you know what I mean? That has given me so much inspiration, and it's made me feel really good, because I do doubt myself sometimes. There is moments when I think, is this worth it? Am I helping people? Is there any point in this? You know what I mean? Is there, am I going to do more damage than good? So thank you for letting me know that I'm actually doing more good than damage, and it'll help me go forward and give me the strength to keep on doing this. Thank you so much. So with that, I've gone on and on and on, and I'll see you tonight between 6:30 or 7, 1 to 2. So I will put a notice out to you all the way I do it. As you know, I've got different ways of doing it. So I'll see you all then. So God bless every single one of you.